Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back again. And this is the part two of this kind of like mini series of part twos. Are they better than the sequels, or are they always worse? That sort of question. Now, this time we're going to be talking about Banished from the Heroes Party, part two. Uh, I'm going to leave it at that. It really has a long name, and I don't feel like saying the whole thing. But if you don't remember in part one, the main character Red, this is a world where they have gifts or these talents or these unique abilities that they're born with. And in Red's case, that's not his real name, but that's the name that he gives himself after he leaves the Heroes Party. And his gift is his ability is as the guide. Basically, he guides the hero in their growth until they're strong enough to be on their own and defeats the Demon Lord. Now, since his abilities are kind of limited to like a certain amount, a certain degree, he can learn and he can have all the abilities, but he's never going to be a master of anything. So he's good and proficient at everything, but he's a master of nothing. And because of that, there is a team member within the party who thinks that he is a waste of space, and when he kind of feeds into this weakness that Red has, saying, you know what, you are just bringing the hero party down. The hero needs to be on her own, and etc, etc. So he leaves the party. He goes to a village that's long away of any conflict, and he lives his life the way he describes it as the peaceful and the slow and peaceful life. He does his adventuring until he has enough money to open up his apothecary, and now he has his own life, and everybody loves him and all that. Rito, she is a formal friend or ally, you could say. She is a princess of this kingdom, but she leaves because, in part, she wants to be free, but also because she doesn't want to be part of the fight for succession, so she decides to leave, have nothing to do with that. She finally finds Red, and she has had a crush on him for the longest of time. They start living together, and they do have feelings for each other, and all of that. And the whole story is about, when his sister, who is the hero, decides she no longer wants to be the hero. She comes back, and he does everything to help her out so that she doesn't go berserk from her ability, because her ability as the hero urges her to fight, and look for the Demon Lord. And so, as he helps her out, the main kind of like the point of the season is, you are born with abilities, yes, but it is up to you to decide on how you use them. Just because you have the ability of a bar brawler, that doesn't mean that you are going to be in canteens and fighting people all the time. You can actually use that for good. Or just because you're born to be good with a weapon, that doesn't mean that you are going to be in the army. You can use that instead to be a master of a tool, and use that in whatever trade you want to be at. So that type of thing. And if we go to finishing up season one, Ruti, the sister, who is the hero, I mean, she is able to kind of break away from those urges, and now she lives her life the way she wants to. And if she wants to protect people, she does. If she wants to go on adventuring, she does, and comes back. I mean, she lives her life now. And season two now leads with Ruthie is no longer the hero per se, because she's no longer going for the Demon Lord, but there is another person who is now the new hero. And that is this boy who his ability was more for him to become a church cleric, however, or a clergy member, but somehow he now has a different ability like a second ability, and that is to become the hero. And he's not the best of people. I mean, he doesn't care for anybody. He just wants to fight. He is very much radicalized in terms of the church. Like if you think of like the most extremist of people who believe, he is on that extreme and even further, to the point where he'll kill innocent people in the name of, oh, this is what the Almighty God wanted it to happen, because we're supposed to do this, and if they don't, well, they're going against his wishes, that type of thing. So it's just like crazy time. And in the meantime, Ruthie is in the village, far, far away from any conflict, along with Red. And it's actually a nice season because, Red and Rito, they are basically living together, and they're basically a married couple, but they're not married. And the season opens up with Red wanting to find a gemstone to turn it into a ring for Rito. Because even though it's not necessary, but it is a custom where she is from, and they do want to do this thing and do it right. And so, well, they go on and they find out that there's these monsters that are incredibly powerful, and there's things there's things going on that are not normal, that's affecting like everyday life. From the trolls and the mountain people that are kind of like, I don't know, they kind of remind me of the Gorons from Legend of Zelda, but that's kind of like beside the point. And as Red, Rito, Ruti, as they are like figuring out what's going on, the hero is gradually coming closer to the village, and it's kind of like a menace, because if the new hero meets the hero, it's kind of like that fight for power, that, okay, who's the real hero, right? Because you can't have two heroes. Who is the real hero? And the couple times that they do meet, and it's not like, oh yeah, you are the hero, we're gonna fight. It's more like he is abusing his position as the hero. So she shows up, messes around with him, and then leaves. If that is just for him to leave them alone, but he doesn't. And so by the end of the season, I mean, despite his companion, despite her look, she's not an actual fairy. She's this like very ancient evil spirit. So despite her intervention, he does get defeated by Red and Ruti. And now he kind of learns the lesson that, oh, okay, maybe to be a hero, it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily follow the urges, because he also has urges of needing to kill monsters, and even monsters who are not monsters that are kind of like, they're anthropomorphized, so they might be like one-eyed creatures who are living life just like anybody else, and they're living together with humans, and there's no danger. So, but he'll kill them because, oh, they're monsters, that type of thing. So it's like you don't have to follow those urges. And again, like, the lesson does follow from the first season that you are born with certain gifts, and yes, you can have a gift, but that doesn't mean that you have to necessarily let that be your life or let that define your life. You get to choose how you use your gift. And so that's basically what happens. I mean, he does a 180. He now is kinder to people around him. He tries to be more empathetic, and that's the type of thing that goes on. As far as like differences from part 1, we are more focused on Ruti, and we see that Ruti, she has this fear that because she still has that gift of the hero, maybe it's not okay for her to live the life she wants. Maybe she does have obligations, despite everybody telling her, no, I mean, you do deserve to be happy. You do deserve to live the life you want to live. And so that really speaks to the pressures that you might feel in terms of, maybe you're good at math and you might feel pressure from your family that, oh yeah, you have to be a scientist, or you have to be, a banker, or you have to be this or that because you're good at one thing. Or maybe you're good in sports and, oh yeah, you have to be a pro athlete. Or, despite being good at something, you don't have to follow the pressure that there might be. So it's very much, again, it's kind of continuing on with season 1 in terms of you choose what to do with the gifts you have, but it adds that second part as, even if there is external pressure to do so, even if there's external pressure on you to do what you don't want. And I think that's kind of like great, because it does fall in line with many, I've met, and I'll include myself as well, but you finish high school, and I remember that when I was in high school, they give us this like proficiency exam or something like that. I forget the name, but where you answer some questions and it tells you, oh, you're fit for these careers, this, and this. And then you see the counselor, and then the counselor asks you point blank, okay, so what do you want to do? What do you want to do? This is what's going to happen. You're going to go to college. You're going to get a debt. You're going to go to get your bachelor's. You're going to be more in debt. You're going to be a master's, and you're going to be more in debt. Then you're going to start working, and then you're going to slowly pay your. So I remember that when I spoke to the counselor, and I'm not kidding, I was 16. I was a junior. No, I wasn't 16. I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. I was a junior. We had barely started the semester, the school year. They took the test. I went to the counselor. The counselor was, okay, what do you want to be? It says you can be an engineer, you can be a doctor, you can be this, that, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I don't know. What do you have to choose? I don't know. Choose. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, this. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. You're going to go to college. You're going to go do this. And as I was hearing him talking about, oh, you're going to be in debt. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be this. As he was going over like all these things, it felt like the world was coming down on me. So what do I want? I don't know. When you go to college, people, you meet a lot of people and, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be, take your pick. They take the introductory classes, and that's not what they want. So they take other classes. Oh, that's not what they want. Until finally they find, oh, okay, maybe this is what I like. Okay, this is maybe what I'm interested in. And so it takes time to like understand, okay, this is where I want my life to lead to. This is like what I want my career. This is what I want my life to be. And it might be different from your initial expectations and your initial dreams. It's not bad. It's just, sometimes you don't know what you want. And you're very pressured to go a certain path. And that's the same thing that happens here, Even the new hero, he wants to be a hero. And the actual hero, she doesn't want to be it. But there's pressure for her to be back and be the hero. And there's doubts in the new hero that, oh, is he really the hero? Is he a real hero? So he feels like he needs to prove himself. And that's kind of like not the case. I mean, there's like nothing to prove except prove to yourself what you want and prove that that is what you want. And the only way to do it is, well, taking a leap of faith and just go to path. You want to be a doctor? Okay. Volunteer at a hospital. Be in that setting. Understand if that is what you want. And ask a lot of questions. But it wasn't? Okay. That's not a failure. That's now you're learning more about yourself. And that's the key. You're not failing. If you're actively trying to understand what you like or don't like, you're not failing. You just learn more about what you like or don't like. Oh, you want to be an engineer? Okay. Place yourself in a position where you're with engineers. and ask questions and see how they work. Oh, you don't like that? Okay, well, find something else, and you'll eventually find something. And even if you say, well, I don't know what I want to do at all. Okay, just take any opportunity to do extracurriculars. Not just, oh, I did my homework, I get good grades, that's it. No, just take a chance. Take a leap of faith in life. Oh, that there's community service. Okay, go do a community service. There's a club. Okay, join that school club. There's, I don't know, like a program offered in your community. Take that program. Just do that leap of faith and trust that, okay, you'll either like it or don't like it, but at least you'll learn all that much about yourself. And that's what we can learn from Banished, from the Heroes Party Season 2. Now, I've talked about Season 1 and Season 2 separately, but how is it worse or how is it better? I think they're about the same. I mean, because you do get to relate more to Ruthie. You do get to continue loving both Red and Rito. They're a fabulous couple. So there isn't much to say, oh, one's bad or one's good. They're both good seasons, and for me, I would say that they're on equal foot. None is better than the other. But that's just my opinion. If you ever see it, let me know, and on the comments, let me know if you liked Season 1 better than the Season 2, or if you like Season 2 better than Season 1, or maybe you don't like anime and you don't like either, or didn't watch it because why would I want to watch cartoons? Just leave your thoughts. At any rate, I'll leave it there. And as far as my conclusion for between these two seasons, again, they're about the same, because they do continue on with that lesson throughout the season, and it's very well stated. There is no, it's a repetition from Season 1. It's not. They state that reason and that lesson throughout the whole season and it's constant. They ended up very well. If I had a complaint about Season 2, it's the new hero. I didn't like him. But again, that says a lot about the season, that the character was well written, and it's kind of like the Umbridge of Harry Potter. You hate Umbridge, but it's because you hate Umbridge with such a passion that's why it's a very good character, and it was well written, because it was that well written, and not just the character, but like the story. It was so well done that you feel that passion, that you're then invested to actually care and say, I hate that character. And that's the same thing that happens with this new hero. I mean, I hated that character, but it's because the story and the character both were well written, and it made sense. All right, I think I've talked too much, but I'll leave it there. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and if not, well, see you for part 3. And remember, be kind to those around you. You never know what they're going through. See you later. Bye bye.